Hello again, Andy with Handy Andy, and we're out walking a project over in Buford, and this is a gorgeous house. So we've got a bunch of carpentry repairs to do for them, and then we're going to be changing colors to make it maybe look more like an English Tudor style home, maybe adding some diamond inset grids on these windows just to give it a different stance from the street. But they're ready for a change. The house, should definitely be painted this season. The carpentry work should have been done a few years ago. So we're going to run it kind of where we do the carpentry first, give her some time for us to do some brush outs and pick some colors. And as you're looking around the house, any house, look for the black. So see the corner of the stucco up here? And this is a synthetic stucco, so it's even more important to make sure any black, you caulk it up and seal it. So we'll seal that with an elastomeric that's paintable. If we weren't painting it, would you use a Dow Corning product? These doors right here were trimmed out in OSB, and from the heat and water, they've expanded. So we'll get some cured pressure treated and replace those. On the door jambs, this one here is rotted, and so we'll piece this in with pressure treated on the left. This one has a bit of rot going all the way up the edge. So we'll just go ahead and replace the whole thing, and that way we'll be done with that. A lot of the weep holes, you see these tubes extended out through this little stucco detail. We'll cut those flush and then drill them clear. And that's to get any moisture or condensation that forms on the inside of that brick cavity out, so it's not causing mold and rot in the house. And it's kind of like that around the house. So the guys, we're here doing all this work. We're not going to charge them for that. The guys will drill all those things out. You can see them over the dining room window right here. I'm not going to wheedle back in there with the video, but the center of that window is rotted out, and the center of this window above it is rotted. My guys, when they get up on ladders, will be able to see if there's anything else. Whenever we're painting a house, people laugh at us. They take pictures. There's videos online of us doing it. The guys hate it. We scrub, hand scrub every house, and then light pressure rinse, except for the stone and the brickwork. That stuff will get hit with a normal pressure washer. And then on the inside corners in here, once they're done, the guys will caulk those corners. They've separated as the house has aged a little bit. Not gonna be able to see it in the video. I might catch it on the other side, but there's a cap on this dormer over here in the foyer that's rotted. And the key with us is any rotted wood that we replace, we don't use synthetic materials. PVC should never be installed in Atlanta, Georgia, but people do. And then we come back and replace it because it warps, it splits, it fades, it twists. It's a terrible product. There's just too much heat here for that. The guys will check all the gutters, and every corner needs to be sealed. It's just starting to rot the soffit and fascia. So when you've got, I can't show you in the video, but if you go outside, look at your corner gutters, you'll see two little holes or two little black dots or whatever they might be, but they're actually screws. Instead of using a separate corner piece, they mitered it together, put screws in the bottom. And almost every builder does it to save money. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. We prefer a separate corner piece, but it just adds to the job. So we imagine they're building out 500 houses. If they can save $1,000 on a house, they're gonna go ahead and do it. So that's how they do it. You just need to seal it every 5 years. So we'll do that as part of this job. Window trim, and another reason we don't use synthetic product on window trim is that vinyl trim, every caulk is gonna fail. Even our $10 tube stuff that we use versus the $2 that the average painter's using. And when it does, the moisture is gonna get behind it. So like here, that piece of wooden brick mold there on the right side is rotted through to let us know, uh-oh, we got a problem. If it were PVC, unless it warped or pulled away, like you've seen in some of our videos, we wouldn't know there's a problem there. So I'd rather have the sacrificial wood, and that's just me. The boys will eyeball this window. I can't see it from the ground. But this master window, we'll go ahead and repair that brick mold. The cool thing about Handy Andy is we pretty much do everything. So they can have us come back here to address this erosion in here. They get a lot of runoff in this area. It goes down around the neighbor's yard too. These two posts right here are rotted on the bottom of the deck stairs. So we'll go ahead and replace that. The treads are older, but they're in pretty good shape. We'll just replace this bottom one. And I'd like to extend this pad right here with a better concrete pad, and then add some screws to the balusters. All this deck is nailed. So this section of deck here was added after the main deck, and there's just no screws in hardly any of it. So we'll go ahead and fix that. And then to meet code, so when they do sell the house someday, and just to tighten this railing up, we'll add the missing post in the middle on each side of this railing and then bolt it. And we really need to add some bolts to these posts, again, because they're just nailed. So you can literally, a 5-year-old could pull this railing apart over here. When you get up on side of the deck, And again, we come out to houses, and if you're an average homeowner, you feel like we're picking your house apart. We're not. But like whoever did this decking, this was done a couple years ago. And you can see, if you look closely, those dots, those black spots on the deck are recessed nails. They had way too much pressure on a nail gun. If you're doing a deck, never nail it. That's cheap. It doesn't hold. It's going to cause problems over time. Pay a little extra for the guy that's going to drill pilot holes and screw it down. Nails are temporary, screws are forever. When you get up in here, whoever replaced this decking for them, you can see these the bottom piece of hardy in here. When he got over here, he broke it all up and it probably crumbled because it was getting water to it. And so there's none from that corner all the way over to here. And you can see the galvanized flashing has failed. So what we'll do here is we'll actually add the missing bottom piece of hardy and then install our custom pressure treated flashing plate that'll go from this edge all the way around to this edge. And what it does is it really obviates the need for flashing. As long as you keep it sealed up, and we check them every 3 to 5 years anyway. And then it can be stained to match this deck. But it'll shed the water, so when it comes down, either water off the wall or just rainwater in general, it'll kick it out to where it can drain to the first board. So it's not getting trapped. Like right now, all the water in here is hitting the rear sill plate in this house. You can't see it because the basement's finished, but over time, eventually it's going to rot through and you're going to have a very, very expensive repair. You can see how much water's been getting around. This door right here has been rotted for a good minute. And part of this is because these gutters above are clogged. So whenever it's raining, the water's dropping right on this door. Some people would suggest putting an awning here. You can do that, but that's kind of treating a cause, or rather a symptom than a cause. We like to get to causation, like what's causing all this. But, you know, part of it is that this thing was never back primed and sealed and caulked properly. So we'll replace that nose up there. We'll piece it, and most every other contractor tell you got to replace the whole door. No, we'll repair it. Repair this left frame. And any trim that we do is back primed and sealed. So if it rots again, it's on us. It has a lifetime ownership warranty on it, which is very unusual. Strongest in the country, actually. This post should be replaced. Whoever did the deck split it at the bottom when they were replacing the deck boards, and they just didn't tell them. This top of the cap on this rail right here, they replaced it a year or two ago. It wasn't seasoned wood, so you can see that it warped and split and it was nailed. So we'll go ahead and replace that and not charge them. It's just aggravating. You're gonna have a beautiful house. I hate to pay twice for stuff. On the bay window, we've got left and right brick mold and frame here on this window, and the same thing on the second window over. The other two have been repaired before, probably before they bought this house. There's a little bit of board bee damage up here. I pay board bees to get out here and do this stuff because it creates work for us, but this one can just be caulked and sealed. We don't need to replace it. It's in a couple places like that. I would love on this deck, we stay in a lot of decks, I would love to two-tone this. This color, I believe, is faded a little bit. I believe it's Black Fox, which is a favorite color of mine. And it looks like they kind of did the whole neighborhood. That one over there is the same color. But we just did one that was killer over in Dunwoody, where we did terracotta on the decking on this part that you walk on, and the railings were cracked pepper, which is another one of my favorite colors. People say I'm in love with Joanna Gaines, and maybe I am, but she picks great colors, and I picked that color a couple of years ago without realizing that was one of her favorites. And it went on to become color of the year. You can see on the post right here, see all the nails they've driven in this thing? It should be bolted through. We really need to have the guys do that to tighten up that railing for them. But overall, it's a great house. You know, sometimes you feel as a homeowner, guys like me come out, we're just picking your house apart. You know, a lot of this stuff is stitching time saves 9. You see all the algae back here and mold back here on the back of the house. They get very little sunlight back here. So we'll add an additional mildew side. People fight with me all the time now about Behr product that we use. It used to be you couldn't use Behr. It was a terrible product. And about 8 years ago or so, they raided a whole chemist pool from a major paint manufacturer, and huge difference now. We use a lot of Behr. Interior is just as good all day long as Sherwin-Williams, as long as you buy the upper brand like Marquee. We still use Sherwin-Williams Emerald on cabinets. It's a great urethane product, the best in the world as far as I'm concerned. We do a lot of painting, and Behr is a great product. So when we paint a house like this, 2 coats of paint, it's a 10-year warranty. It's, again, the strongest warranty in the country. The deck, solid stain. Here, we would probably two-tone her, do whatever she wants. She can go back with this if she likes it, but I think she's really looking for change. We will spray and roll the deck. So some of the material's hand applied, some is sprayed and rolled, but 2 coats for a color change. But the Behr 10-year product is a great product now. So don't shy away from Behr paint. We don't get paid anything to say that. It's just from using the product. And if it's not good, we're not going to use it. This left door frame is rotted, so we'll go ahead and repair that as well. Homeowners love to add these little flex drains, and they think they're doing something they're not, because that'll just clog. And that's part of the issue that's going on with these gutters, is that they're keeping some water in the gutter, and that's why these 2 windows rotted, because in heavy rains, the water's backing up in the gutter and coming down on the wood, and that's all there is to it. Here we'll add a mildew side to the paint as well for this reason. You can see all that algae back in there. He does have a rotted corner back here, and the woodpecker's gotten into it recently. And it's gonna be hard to see this in the video, but it's right in this corner right here. And then he's just got a couple more things on the left side of the house. This window right here, you can kind of see the rot in that window. The boys will check these upper windows. And then this dryer vent was replaced. And this is what I hate about handymen. They come out, they do this stuff, you think you're good to go, and look at the gap on this thing. He never screwed it down, he never sealed it. Look at that. And then wherever you got stone up against brick, you want to check those joints. And as you look through here, you'll look through the black, you'll see the gaps through it, especially right up in here. And we just want to seal that stuff up. So the unusual thing about Handy Andy in Atlanta is that we do everything pretty much. And if we don't do it, we got great vendors we can set you up with. Like my stone guy is one of the best guys in the country. Known him for 20, 25 years. But we do a little bit of everything, so it's a one call does it all. When we paint, she's got metal roofs on these dormers. So we may paint the front edge a different color than the tops. We might paint the tops black just because it'll hold up better. Same thing as this eyebrow over here. Those will get painted with Rust-Oleum. She's missing kick-out flashing, like right here in this corner. Where you see that dark color down the brick, it lets you know that water's getting between the edge of that gutter and the house. So we'll add a piece of kick-out flashing there. And some of the stuff is just little stuff that the builder forgot to do, or his subs. But welcome to another project with Handy Andy. We pretty much do everything. Catching up to me is hard. My brother and I work with our crew, so we're not just salespeople. We're actually out here doing this stuff. But you see the neighborhood. It's a beautiful neighborhood. This house will look incredibly different when it's done. I think their designer may suggest that they whitewash this brick. I wouldn't, but a lot of people are. And in a neighborhood like this, the HOA might not allow it. Most people that are having red brick houses like this, they're painting them or whitewashing them or doing something different, faux finish it. Red brick is dated, but this was a custom brick, same as this house over here. So we'll see you at the next house. Bye for now.